Are you ready to witness the grand exhibition of eloquence of the Embishu Marawi literati? Support your representatives in their fight for dominance. This is the first university-wide online literary competitions 2021, the English category. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Professor Laili Nora M. Abdul Ghafoor, your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon. For the reading of the guidelines and the introduction of the coordinators, let us hear from the beautiful and the brainy chairperson of the English department, Dr. Sharifa K. Masoro.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu and good day. As part of the Mindanao State University's 60th founding anniversary, this year's university-wide online literary competitions English category is a public event in an online platform that showcases students' talents in writing, performances, and communication prowess, thereby providing the wider audience with a meaningful experience of the craft. This whole-day event will surely be exciting, as it is also the first time our university will hold these contests using the online platform. The guidelines, mechanics, submission of entry, and criteria and judging are carefully designed to promote a fair playing field for all contestants and encourage authenticity, creativity, and cooperation among the participants and colleges involved. Here are the general guidelines of the competitions in the English category. All contests are open to bona fide students of the university. That is, they must be officially enrolled this first semester of the academic year 2021 to 2022. For each category, only one contestant from each college shall be allowed and recognized as official college representative. Previous champions of the same category of the university-wide literary competitions are disqualified to participate in the contests. All participants are required to be formally endorsed by their college by sending this information to the overall coordinators: participants' name, photocopy of their ID if available, photocopy of their COR, contact details such as mobile number and institutional email. College coordinators' contact details should also be attached in the said endorsement. These competitions were carefully planned and organized by the University Literary Competitions Committee. It is my privilege as the overall coordinator of the English category to introduce to you the efficient and competent university coordinator for each contest. For the essay writing, we have Ms. Diandra Ditma A. Macarambon, a faculty member of the English department. For the interpretative reading, we have Ms. Ailani D. Makagan, a faculty member of the English department. For the oration, we have Dr. Hasmina D. Sarib, a faculty member of the English department. And for declamation, we have Professor Aslaini T. Makatanong JD, a faculty member of the Communications and Media Studies department. Our university coordinators are now ready to present the mechanics for each contest. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much, Dr. Masoro, for enlightening us with the competition's guidelines and for introducing the university coordinators. For the information of our audience, the guidelines and mechanics of the online literary competitions 2021 have already been posted in the various FB pages of the university prior to the selection of contestants. This time, we shall hear the reading of the contest criteria for judging. Let's put our virtual hands together to my colleagues in the English department. For essay writing, it will be presented by Ms. Diandra Ditma A. Macarambon. Interpretative reading will be presented by Ms. Ailani D. Makagaan. Oration will be presented by Dr. Hasmina S. Sari. And declamation will be presented by Professor Aslaini T. Makatano.
The criteria for judging are as follow. Content, that is, relevance to the theme, 60%. Unity in style, organization of thought, and presentation of ideas, 20%. Form, adherence to writing mechanics, that is, grammar, punctuation, capitalization, etc., 20%, totaling to 100%.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This year's university-wide interpretative reading contest of Mindanao State University is a public event in an online platform that showcases students' interpretative reading performances and communication prowess, thereby providing the wider audience with a meaningful experience of the craft. It is participated by 7 colleges, namely College of Business Administration and Accountancy, College of Education, College of Health Sciences, College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, College of Public Affairs, College of Social Sciences and Humanities, and College of Sports, Physical Education, and Recreation. The 7 contestants will read the story, The Mother with One Eye. These are the criteria for judging. Appropriateness of introductory statement, 10%. Facial expression and hand gestures, 10%. Characterization, 20%. Vocal interpretations, pronunciation, and voice quality, 30%. And credible reading rendition, 30%. That's a total of 100%. We encourage every MSU1 to witness and cheer for the performances of their representatives in these online literary competitions. Long live MSU!
Welcome to the university-wide Online Literary Competitions 2021. The oratorical contest in the 60th founding anniversary of the Mindanao State University is a public speaking event in an online platform that showcases students' oratorical performance and communication prowess in interpreting a literary piece, thereby providing the audience with a meaningful experience of the craft. The criteria for judging are the following: quality, 20%. Content, 20%. Persuasiveness, 30%. Style, 10%. Organization, 10%. Creativity, 10%. A total of 100%. May the best orator from the 6 participating colleges win.
Assalamu alaikum. The declamation contest in the 60th founding anniversary of the Mindanao State University here in Marawi City is a public speaking event in an online platform that showcases students' declaimers' performance and communication prowess in interpreting a literary piece, thereby providing the audience with a meaningful experience of the craft. All entries will be judged according to the following criteria: substance of the piece or depth and relevance to the theme, 30%. Emphatic interpretation and execution, 30%. Vocal aspects including variation, quality, and clarity, 20%. Appropriateness of costume and props, 10%. And finally, mastery, 10%. a grand total of 100%, made the best declaimer from the five participating colleges win.
Thank you very much to our coordinators for presenting to us the criteria for judging. Now, let's get to know the judges for the English category, which will be presented to us by the coordinator of Essay Writing Contest, Miss Leandra Ditma A. Macarambo.
The University-wide Online Literary Competitions 2021 has two categories, the Filipino category and the English category. Under the English category, we have four competitions: the Essay Writing Contest, the Declamation Contest, the Oration Contest, and the Interpretative Reading Contest. Here are the Board of Judges for the English category, particularly the oration, the declamation, and the interpretative reading competitions. Our first judge is Umayma K. Omar. She graduated from the Mindanao State University Marawi campus in 2013 with the degree Bachelor of Arts in English and received the Department Leadership Award that year. She worked as a customer service representative at Converges Cebu and HGS Alabang. She taught at the English U Academy, a Korean school for children and adults at Alabang, Muntinlupa City. She also taught English language and literature at the Marawi Foundation Academy and the Philippine Muslim Teachers College, both here in Marawi. In 2016, Umayma was a Philippine Youth Ambassador for the Ship for Southeast Asian and Japanese Youth Program, representing BARM, formerly the ARMM, and headed the Education Discussion Group, and at the same time advocated for gender equality and HIV awareness. For 3 years and 6 months, she worked at the Asian Institute of Management in Makati City as a program associate under the School of Executive Education and Lifelong Learning. There, she hosted several events such as the Leaders in Innovation Fellowship and Management Development Program, among others. She is now teaching at the Mindanao State University Marawi Senior High School under the Humanities and Social Sciences strand. Our next judge is Raihana C. Ditual Madug. Raihana currently serves the Bangsamoro, especially the Marawi IDPs, by overseeing the Public Relations Unit of the BARM Marawi Rehabilitation Program PMO. She graduated from the Mindanao State University Marawi campus in 2009 with the degree Bachelor of Arts in English. During her college days, she won the university-wide competition for interpretative reading twice, and she was also one of the best speakers in the 2006 intercollegiate debate. She was also a former member of the faculty of the Department of English and aspires to continue serving her community through teaching. Finally, the chairperson of the Board of Judges, Eileen Anisha M. Kapal Guro. She is the current officer in charge of the University Library, Mindanao State University, Marawi City. She has served the university in various capacities as a faculty member of the English Department, secretary of the Pre-University Center, former director of the Office of Information, Press and Publication, and former vice chancellor for research and extension. She has finished her master's degrees at the New School, New York City as a Fulbright Scholar, earning MA Media Studies, and the University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City for her MA Islamic Studies. She finished her bachelor's degree at the Mindanao State University Marawi campus, AB English, graduating magna cum laude and receiving the University Student Leadership Award. Her brief stint as the head of the University Library beginning in 2018 earned the first regional and national awards for the University Library consistently for 3 years. the 2018 PAARL Outstanding Academic Research Library Program of the Year, given by the Philippine Association of Academic Research Librarians Incorporated, the 2019 Civil Service Commission Pag-asa Individual Category Regional Award, and finally the 2020 CSC Pag-asa Award Group Category. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our judges for the English category. Thank you very much and enjoy.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Makarambon, for introducing the judges. Now, are you excited as I am to see the performances of our contestants? I bet you are. Support your representatives as we let this English category contest begin.
A mother sacrifices her own life just to give the best to her child. Yet in the end, all they got is unwanted criticisms, discrimination, and disrespect from the society, and even from their own child. With that, I finally understood what true love meant, and it is to care for another person's happiness more than your own. My mom only had one eye. I hated her. She was such an embarrassment. She cooked for students and teachers to support the family. There was this one day during elementary school where my mom came to say hello to me. I was so embarrassed. How could she do this to me? I ignored her, threw her a hateful look, and ran out. The next day at school, one of my classmates said, your mom only has one eye." I wanted to burn myself. I also wanted my mom to just disappear. I confronted her that day and said, "If you're only gonna make me a laughingstock, why didn't you just die?" My mom did not respond. I didn't even stop to think for a second about what I had said because I was full of anger. I was oblivious to her feelings. I wanted out of that house and have nothing to do with her, so I studied real hard, got a chance to go abroad to study. Then I got married. I bought a house of my own. I had kids of my own. I was happy with my life, my kids, and the comforts. Then one day, my mother came to visit me. She hadn't seen me in years, and she didn't even meet her grandchildren. When she stood by the door, my children laughed at her, and I yelled at her for coming over uninvited. I screamed at her, "How dare you come to my house and scared my children? Get out of here now!" And to this, my mother quietly answered, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I may have gotten the wrong address." And she disappeared out of sight. One day, a letter regarding a school reunion came to my house, so I lied to my husband that I was going on a business trip. After the reunion, I went to the old shop just out of curiosity. My neighbor said that she died. I did not shed a single tear. They handed me a letter that she had wanted me to have. "My dearest daughter, I think of you all the time. I'm sorry that I came to your house and scared your children. I was so glad when I heard you were coming for the reunion, but I may not be able to even get out of the bed to see you. I'm sorry that I was a constant embarrassment to you when you were growing up. You see, when you were very little, you got into an accident and lost your eye. As a mother, I couldn't stand watching you having to grow up with one eye, so I gave you mine. I was so proud of my daughter who was seeing a whole new world for me in my place with that eye. With all my love to you, your mother." The mother with one eye. This is contestant number 1.
Never, ever disrespect your parents. and never overlook or undervalue their sacrifices. They give us life. They raise us to be better than they were. They give and continue to attempt to give more than they ever have. Even in their wildest imaginations, they never wish ill for their children. They are constantly attempting to show us the correct path and serve as motivators. Parents sacrifices everything for their children and forgive all of their children's mistakes. There is no way to repay what they have been for the children. All we can do is to provide them with what they require, which is simply time, love, and respect. My mom only had one eye. I hated her. She was such an embarrassment. She cooked for students and teachers to support the family. There was this one day during elementary school where my mom came to say hello to me. I was so embarrassed. How could she do this to me? I ignored her, threw her a hateful look, and ran out. The next day at school, one of my classmates said, "Hey, your mom only has one eye?" I wanted to bury myself. I also wanted my mom to just disappear. I confronted her that day and said, "If you're only gonna make me a laughingstock, why don't you just die?" My mom did not respond. I didn't even stop to think for a second about what I had said, because I was full of anger. I was oblivious to her feelings. I wanted out of that house and have nothing to do with her. So I studied real hard and got a chance to go abroad to study. And then I get married. I bought a house of my own. I had kids of my own. I was happy with my life, my kids, and the comforts. And then one day, my mother came to visit me. She hadn't seen me in years, and she didn't even meet her grandchildren. When she stood by the door, my children laughed at her, and I yelled at her for coming over uninvited. I screamed at her, "How dare you come to my house and scare my children? Get out of here, now!" And to this, my mother quietly answered, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I may have gotten the wrong address." And she disappeared out of sight. One day, a letter regarding a school reunion came to my house. So I lied to my husband that I was going on a business trip. After the reunion, I went to the old shop just out of curiosity. My neighbor said that she died. I didn't shed a single tear. They handed me a letter that she had wanted me to have. My dearest daughter, I think of you all the time. I'm sorry that I came to your house and scared your children. I was so glad when I heard you were coming for the reunion, but I may not be able to see you. I'm sorry that I was a constant embarrassment to you when you were growing up. You see, when you were very little, you got into an accident and lost your eye. As a mother, I couldn't stand watching you having to grow up with one eye. So I gave you mine. I was so proud of my daughter, who was seeing a whole new world for me in a place with that eye. With all my love to you, your mother. The mother with one eye. This is contestant number 2.
Mothers are the most magnificent creations of God, and it's no wonder why. Their sacrifices and love go beyond infinity. Motherhood knows no limit because even if we are all already grown up, in their eyes, we remain the children that we used to be, cared for, guided, loved, and cherished. Always. My mom only had one eye. I hated her. She was such an embarrassment. She cooked for students and teachers to support the family. There was this one day during elementary school where my mom came to say hello to me. I was so embarrassed. How could she do this to me? I ignored her, threw her a hateful look, and ran out. The next day at school, one of my classmates said, "Eee! Your mom only has one eye." I wanted to bury myself. I also wanted my mom to just disappear. I confronted her that day and said, "If you're only gonna make me a laughing stock, why don't you just die?" My mom did not respond. I didn't even stop to think for a second about what I had said because I was full of anger. I was oblivious to her feelings. I wanted out of that house and have nothing to do with her. So, I studied real hard, got a chance to go abroad to study. Then, I got married. I bought a house of my own. I had kids of my own. I was happy with my life, my kids, and the comforts. Then, one day, my mother came to visit me. She hadn't seen me in years, and she didn't even meet her grandchildren. When she stood by the door, my children laughed at her, and I yelled at her for coming over uninvited. I screamed at her, "How dare you come to my house and scare my children? Get out of here! Now!" And to this, my mother quietly answered, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I may have gotten the wrong address." And she disappeared out of sight. One day, a letter regarding a school reunion came to my house. So, I lied to my wife that I was going on a business trip. After the reunion, I went to the old shack just out of curiosity. My neighbor said that she died. I did not shed a single tear. They handed me a letter that she had wanted me to have. My dearest son, I think of you all the time. I'm sorry that I came to your house and scared your children. I was so glad when I heard you were coming for the reunion, but I may not be able to even get out of bed to see you. I'm sorry that I was a constant embarrassment to you when you were growing up. You see, when you were very little, you got into an accident and lost your eye. As a mother, I couldn't stand watching you having to grow up with one eye. So I gave you mine. I was so proud of my son who was seeing a whole new world for me in my place with that eye. With all my love to you, your mother. The mother with one eye. This is contestant number 3.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. After belief in God, Allah, after belief in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, my next greatest gift in life is a belief of my mother, Fatima Sahara, for her only daughter. When I was in coma, she still believed I would live. And alhamdulillah, I still am living. My mom only had one eye. I hated her. She was such an embarrassment. She cooked for students and teachers to support the family. There was this one day during elementary school where my mom came to say hello to me. I was so embarrassed. How could she do this to me? I ignored her, threw her a hateful look, and ran out. The next day at school, one of my classmates said, "Eee, your mom only has one eye." I wanted to bury myself. I also wanted my mom to just disappear. I confronted her that day and said, "If you're only gonna make me a laughing stock, why don't you just die?" My mom did not respond. I didn't even stop to think for a second about what I had said, because I was full of anger. I was oblivious to her feelings. I wanted out of that house and have nothing to do with her. So I studied real hard, got a chance to go abroad to study. Then I got married. I bought a house of my own. I had kids of my own. I was happy with my life, my kids, and the comforts. Then one day, my mother came to visit me. She hadn't seen me in years, and she didn't even meet her grandchildren. When she stood by the door, my children laughed at her, and I yelled at her for coming over uninvited. I screamed at her, "How dare you come to my house and scare my children? Get out of here, now!" And to this, my mother quietly answered, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I may have gotten the wrong address." And she disappeared out of sight. One day, a letter regarding a school reunion came to my house. So I lied to my husband that I was going on a business trip. After the reunion, I went to the old shack just out of curiosity. My neighbors said that she died. I did not shed a single tear. They handed me a letter that she had wanted me to have. My dearest daughter, I think of you all the time. I'm sorry that I came to your house and scared your children. I was so glad when I heard you were coming for the reunion. But I may not be able to even get out of bed to see you. I'm sorry that I was a constant embarrassment to you when you were growing up. You see, when you were very little, you got into an accident. And lost your eye. As a mother, I couldn't stand watching you having to grow up with one eye. So I I gave you mine. I was so proud of my daughter. Who was seeing a whole new world for me. In my place. With that, I with all my love to you, your mother. A mother with one eye. This is contestant number 4. Thank you.
A line that never dims, a tree that never withers, and a pillar that eternally inseminated on her offspring's heart, we call her a mother. My mom only had one eye. I hated her. She was such an embarrassment. She cooked for students and teachers to support the family. There was this one day during elementary school where my mom came to say hello to me. I was so embarrassed. How could she do this to me? I ignored her, threw her a hateful look, and ran out. The next day at school, one of my classmates said, "Ew, your mom only has one eye." I wanted to bury myself. I also wanted my mom to just disappear. I confronted her that day and said, "If you're only going to make me a laughingstock, why don't you just die?" My mom did not respond. I didn't even stop to think for a second about what I had said, because I was full of anger. I was oblivious of her feelings. I wanted out of that house and have nothing to do with her. So I studied real hard, got a chance to go abroad to study. Then I got married. I bought a house of my own. I had kids of my own. I was happy of my life, my kids, and the comforts. Then one day, my mother came to visit me. She hadn't seen me in years, and she didn't even meet her grandchildren. When she stood by the door, my children laughed at her, and I yelled at her for coming over uninvited. I screamed at her, "How dare you come to my house and scare my children? Get out of here, now!" And to this, my mother quietly answered, "Oh, I'm sorry. I have gotten the wrong address." And she disappeared out of sight. One day, a letter regarding a school reunion came to my house. So I lied to my wife that I was going on a business trip. After the reunion, I went to the old shop just out of curiosity. My neighbor said that she died. I did not shed a single tear. They handed me a letter that she had wanted me to have. "My dearest son, I think of you all the time. I'm sorry that I came to your house and scared your children. I was so glad when I heard that you were coming for the reunion, but I may not be able to even get out of the bed to see you. I'm sorry that I was a constant embarrassment to you when you were growing up. You see, when you were very little, you got into an accident and lost your eye. As a mother, I couldn't stand watching you having to grow up with one eye. So I gave you mine. I was so proud of my son who was seeing a whole new world for me. In my place with that eye. With all my loving to you, your mother. The mother with one eye." This is contestant number 5.
A mother's love is such a beautiful mystery.
for she will do everything in her power. Her love is eternity. She is far more willing to do sacrifices, but no one told her to do so. She expects no return in award because that is what she loves to give so. Whenever her child is sick, she will give up everything that she has, even if that will make her such a weak. She does everything that she can, all that because it is not her role, nor responsibility, but because of the innate connection that she has to her child, being part of the family. My mom only had one eye. I hated her. She was such an embarrassment. She cooked for students and teachers to support the family. There was this one day during elementary school where my mom came to say hello to me. I was so embarrassed. How could she do this to me? I ignored her, threw her a hateful look, and ran out. The next day at school, one of my classmates said, "Eee, your mom only has one eye." I wanted to bury myself. I also wanted my mom to just disappear. I confronted her that day and said, "If you're only gonna make me a laughingstock, why don't you just die?" My mom did not respond. I didn't even stop to think for a second about what I had said because I was full of anger. I was oblivious to her feelings. I wanted out of the house and have nothing to do with her. So, I studied real hard, get a chance to go abroad to study. Then, I got married. I bought a house of my own. I had kids of my own. I was happy with my life, my kids, and the comforts. Then one day, my mother came to visit me. She hadn't seen me in years, and she didn't even meet her grandchildren. When she stood by the door, my children laughed at her, and I yelled at her for coming over uninvited. I screamed at her, "How dare you to come my house and scare my children? Get out of here, now!" And to this, my mother quietly answered, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I may have gotten the wrong address." And she disappeared out of sight. One day, a letter regarding a school reunion came to my house. So, I lied to my husband that I was going on a business trip. After the reunion, I went to the old shack, just out of curiosity. My neighbor said that she died. I did not shed a single tear. They handed me a letter that she had wanted me to have. My dearest daughter, I think of you all the time. I'm sorry that I came to your house and scared your children. I was so glad when I heard you were coming for the reunion. But I may not be able to even get out of bed to see you. I'm sorry that I was a constant embarrassment to you when you were growing up. You see, when you were very little, you got into an accident and lost your eye. As a mother, I couldn't stand watching you having to grow up with one eye. So, I gave you mine. I was so proud of my daughter who was seeing a whole new world for me in my place with that eye. With all my love to you, your mother. The mother with one eye. This is contestant number 6.
The love of a mother is immeasurable and unfailing. But sometimes we mistakenly forgot the value. We tend to be ignorant, ungrateful, and unappreciative. We forgot our role as children. So now, let me share to you a piece and introduce to you a story that would surely be an eye-opener and a reminder for everyone to always love the woman who carries the world for you. My mom only had one eye. I hated her. She was such an embarrassment. She cooked for students and teachers to support the family. There was this one day during elementary school where my mom came to say hello to me. I was so embarrassed. How could she do this to me? I ignored her, threw her a hateful look, and ran out. The next day at school, one of my classmates said, "Eee, your mom only has one eye." I wanted to bury myself. I also wanted my mom to just disappear. I confronted her that day and said, "If you're only gonna make me a laughing stock, why don't you just die?" My mom did not respond. I didn't even stop to think for a second about what I had said because I was so full of anger. I was oblivious to her feelings. I wanted out of that house and have nothing to do with her. So, I studied real hard, got a chance to go abroad to study. Then, I got married. I bought a house of my own. I had kids of my own. I was happy with my life, my kids, and the comforts. Then one day, my mother came to visit me. She hadn't seen me in years, and she didn't even meet her grandchildren. When she stood by the door, my children laughed at her, and I yelled at her for coming over uninvited. I screamed at her, "How dare you come to my house and scare my children? Get out of here, now!" And to this, my mother quietly answered, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I may have gotten the wrong address." And she disappeared out of sight. One day, a letter regarding a school reunion came to my house. So, I lied to my husband that I was going on a business trip. After the reunion, I went to the old shack just out of curiosity. My neighbor said that she died. I did not shed a single tear. They handed me a letter that she had wanted me to have. "My dearest daughter, I think of you all the time. I'm sorry that I came to your house and scared your children. I was so glad when I heard you were coming for the reunion. But I may not be able to even get out of bed to see you. I'm sorry that I was a constant embarrassment to you when you were growing up. You see, when you were very little, You got into an accident and lost your eye. As a mother, I couldn't stand watching you having to grow up with one eye. So, I gave you mine. I was so proud of my daughter who was seeing a whole new road for me in my place with that eye. With all my love to you, your mother. The mother with one eye. This is contestant number 7. Thank you.
Let's start this speech with the Japanese proverb Nanagurubi Yoki. In English, it translates to fall 7 times, stand at 8. This proverb from the Zen tradition speaks to the Japanese concept of resiliency. That no matter how many times you trip, you must stand up stronger. And I believe that is something that MSU and the Amishuans can relate to. To the distinguished members of the Board of Judges, to everyone watching, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a story of resiliency. A story of why Amishuans are called survivors. The Mindanao State University has been through a lot. You name it. Clan feuds, rebel versus the armies, siege, natural calamities, and now we have the pandemic. The MSU, as it celebrates its 60th founding anniversary, 3 thoughts are lingering in my head. Bravery, resilience, and agility. And on the cap of these strong words are excellence, innovation, and services. Let me count the ways. The infamous 2017 Marao siege left us with no choice but to temporarily abandon the campus. We have to conduct classes in illegal CE, shared classrooms, and other resources with the College of Medicine. Few months later, we bravely decided to come back to our beloved MSU, bravely attending classes despite the perturbing sounds of bombs and guns in the downtown. Like a phoenix, we rise. The university did not falter, and it opened its gates to continue the academic year. With shaken knees, but determined hearts, we graced the hallways. It was not just an act of bravery, but it was also a call for peace. Imishuans of different cultures and backgrounds continued coexisting inside the premises of the campus. Alhamdulillah, God protected us. Despite the adversity, we recovered and survived, ended the semester on a high note, and senior students were able to graduate with a smile on their faces as if everything is fine and dandy. That is how resilient and agile the Amishuans are. While some have not yet fully recovered from the physical, emotional, and economic distress and aftermath brought by the Marao siege, we are once again challenged. Abrupt suspension of the semesters in March 2020, lockdown for a few months, truly, our mental health has never been this challenged. With all the glittery and spirited various activities inside the campus, the melting pot of the South has suddenly gone on a hush. Gone are the days when students shared joyous and gloomy moments in the walls of their buildings and in the campus. Everything was relegated to online classes. Almost every day we cried, we got depressed, we felt alone in this new battle. The online learning was something new to all of us. It caught us by surprise. Who are prepared for this? No one. Not even the United States of America. But Intermissions are truly one of a kind. It was a fallback nonetheless after a period of adjustment. We again fought back. We sailed on with patience, resilience, and agility. Yet again, on the crest of these trials are excellence, innovation, and services. More students have become Dean's Listers. Officials, faculty force, and the staff showed flexibility in times of crisis, innovating and exploring various learning modalities. New buildings, multimedia classrooms, hybrid events. Everyone was moving forward. And the services. MSU stayed true to its commitment for service. While observing health protocols, they continued to deliver their mandates. All colleges and offices were reopened. Officials, faculty members, and the staff are all available, online and offline, for queries and information dissemination. Sometimes it's 24/7 availability. Truly, a dedication to public service that goes beyond. And who can beat the 15,000 laptops distributed to all Intermissions? Thank you, MC. A 60th birthday may be said as already being a senior citizen. But aging comes wisdom. And nothing is more beautiful than having wisdom that inspires people to attain excellence, innovation, and services despite the odds. In any circumstances, no one is truly prepared. But with resilience, you can always sail on. Our concept of resiliency may not be exactly the same with that of the Japanese. But this is what makes us stand out. Ladies and gentlemen, I take pride with the idea that MSU is already in its 6th years. It may not always be perfectly sailing, but it is sailing and is geared up to face more waves coming. Thank you.
Diamonds are among the most valuable and dazzling creations of nature known to humanity. It started its formation as just mere carbon and finished through time and great pressure. Diamonds are scarce and hence they have a price tag that reflects their value. Furthermore, an anniversary that spans 6 long decades is referred to as a diamond anniversary. The Mindanao State University marks its 60th this year, and it cannot be helped that such a prestigious, precious institution, community, and a big family would be likened to the world's most precious gem. University officials, to the Board of Honor Judges, to the members of the audiences wherever in the country and in the world they may be. Ladies and gentlemen, my greetings of peace and of good health go to everyone. 60 years ago, on September 1, 1961, the Republic Act 1387, the brainchild of none other than the illustrious Senator Dumukao Alonto, was passed in the National Halls of Power, and through that, a group of administrators and educators from the country's most prestigious institutions of higher education gathered the next year along with a handful of able and deserving students. The new university was conceived as an instrument to deliver quality education, seen as an ultimate avenue to uplift the people of Minsopala, so that they could not only achieve their potentials, but also to contribute to the task of peace and nation building. 282 students and 12 faculty members in 1962 embarked on an intellectual and educational voyage to fulfill a mission
and a long-standing legacy of resilience, excellence, and achievements. Since then, hundreds of thousands of determined hopefuls have entered and passed through MSU's portals. Many alumnus credits this institution for putting them through their triumphs in life. For decades, these warriors did not mind that the electricity would go off every now and then. They did not mind that they would have to brave the cold of Marawi City and its afternoon rains. They did not mind the simple food and lack of monetary resources with which to purchase creatures' comfort. They did not mind that their small town surroundings would even be boring at times for the lack of bright lights and glitters that, for instance, nearby Iligan City had. They did not mind that their scholarships would demand so much of them. They came from all walks of life, spoke different languages, adhered to different creeds, and lived different cultures. Nevertheless, they were able to foster a camaraderie and a sense of community that only MSU could offer. Above all, they only had a single objective in mind and in common: to obtain the best education from the university, and to use that to materialize their dreams, not just for themselves and their families, but for their communities. Many alumni have joined the ranks of civil servants, social workers, engineers, medical frontliners, educators, entrepreneurs, scientists, and some have even made their mark globally, bringing to the fore to the world that there is Mindanao State University, and its graduates can compete with the nation's, if not the world's best. MSU has gone onto a metamorphosis into a growing family of campuses across Mindanao and even beyond. One would then be compelled to ask, where does the ship sail from here? MSU indeed will continue to fulfill its destiny as visualized way back 60 years ago. No doubt, Mindanao State University has always been a survivor, like the so many Filipinos in the country that it has helped to nurture. It has bravely crawled through its growing pains in the 60s, saw itself through the martial law decades, piled through so many social, political, and economic crises in the 80s and 90s, and it had even endured the agony of Marawi siege in 2017, where the administration, the faculty, and the students made the courageous decision to hold the classes while the bombs, the airstrikes, and the gunfires, volleying between combatants, were raging just 5 to 6 kilometers away. And now, it is sailing through global pandemic, still resplendent, still strong, despite the challenges. We are all sure that there is no tribulation and no obstacle that MSU cannot overcome. On its 60th year founding anniversary, MSU deserves all the praises, all the allocates, all the prayers of hope that it will continue to shine like diamond, the jewel of Marawi City and Mindanao. Let us recall the words of himno ng pamantasan. Ating ipagkapuri itong pamantasan, ang buhay at pag-ibig sa kanya'y iaanay. Saan man naroroon ay bigyang karangalan. Dakilang paaralan, pamantasang Mindanao. Long live Mindanao State University. May it continue be the light for the disadvantaged. May it sail on and on.
2019, the pandemic. There was once an Amashuan who lost his parents to COVID-19, but he had no time to grieve. A Muslimah who was restricted to go to the masjid for Eid al-Fitr. She had little means to exercise religion. A provinciana who went up to the mountains for a mere 2-bar Wi-Fi signal. And that working student who slept in the computer shop. They had no resources to comply with online classes. A faculty spending his salary in buying internet load, and those admin staffs who are still reporting to offices amidst local transmission, who worriedly thinking, how could this get worse? 2017, the Marawi siege, gunshots, explosions, and the helpless cry of the Mranaos massively fill the air, too loud to indulge, too horrifying to forget. But this is not the first, and perhaps not the worst. 1972, the monumental Marcos's martial law. Do not let your studies interfere with your education. The most valued adage of the most empowered student activists in our university. Persisting on democracy against dictatorship. They write not with the inks of their pens, but with the blood of their souls, risking their lives to unveil what real education is. Liberation, peace, and progress. My dear Emishu, I dare speak in behalf of our fellow Emishuans, those who have been orphaned, sacrificed, and silenced. For until now, despite all those struggles and innumerable lives lost, we now celebrate? Why? Ladies, gentlemen, judges, and our beloved Emishuans, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are most alive when our purpose is most challenged. We are and have always been created to share light and give life across the 7 seas. This purpose brought us today, sailing to our ultimate celebration of success. But where is our destination? 1. We are bound for greatness. For in 1961, when wars were everywhere, feuds, rebellions, and the Mindanao problem, when there was little to no education, no understanding of peace and progress, but only divergence. In that same year, Senator Ahmed Dumukao Alonto founded Mindanao State University for the sole purpose of saving Mindanao and the Philippines at large. We are not just promised to become professionals, graduates, or normal income earners, but to be better, significant individuals who will bring value to the society, to Mindanao, and even to our own families. All for God. Sail on! To greatness we are bound. 2. We are bound for excellence. This pandemic has challenged us to produce more top-notchers, a summa cum laude, and to be a top-performing university. 377 students were sent home through MSU Balik Probinsya program. This year, MSU Sindangan was launched. More scholarships and more than 2,000 laptops distributed under ICT Modernization Program. Indeed, we are bearers of excellence, innovation, and services. Sail on! To excellence we are bound. 3. We are bound with a purpose. Through thick and thin, we have always been fighting for a purpose bigger than ourselves. In the face of armed conflicts, MSU is thriving. in the terror of an oppressive dictator. MSU is hopeful. In the threat of a global pandemic, MSU advances towards a virtual future. We refuse the struggles to weaken us. We have been through poverty, so we know how to truly live. We have been through battles, so we know how to bravely fight. We have dived into the bottom, so we know how to rise up. We have been victims, so we know now how to be heroes. Our history is deeply rooted from conflicts, but we held the greatest purpose of manifesting education to build inclusive peace and progress, to transform with the power of knowledge. Indeed, we are bound with a purpose. For 60 years, we have been sailing. To where? To greatness. Our beloved MSUans, you are the promise of change, the actualization of hope, the innovation for peace. You are the Mindanaoan salvation. You are bound for greatness. So if you feel the same vigor as I do, if you hold into the same passion as I do, if you want to bring change and are being inspired to go beyond, if you believe in God's mercy, then come aboard and say, ahoy to greatness! Maasalam.
Survivor, a harmonious and peaceful day to all of you. The man standing before you is Mr. Abdulaziz Salik. And I want you to lend me your ears as I am about to impart something very special. Back then, the times of our sisters were difficult because some Filipinos could not read and write. At that time, there was no formal education. The Americans came and introduced formal education in our country, and thus we were educated. Education, I believe, is the key to success, and success requires sacrifice. We are the ones leading our lives to success. We sail bravely to move forward because we are the ones dreaming. As a proud student of Mindanao State University, main campus, I am honored because if you are an Intermission, you are born, survivor, and resilient. As Intermissions, we always have stories to tell. We are standing still and choose to stay despite the nightmare we experienced during the siege way back 2017. We chose to remain resilient and win our silent battles despite limited access to strong internet connection. This university, I believe, holds not only the skills and knowledge of the young ones, but also shapes personality by becoming better versions of ourselves. The university has produced successful individuals who have their feet firmly planted on the ground. I remember my instructor once said, "Madaling maging tao, pero mahirap magpakatao." I fathomed what his point was. Indeed, aiming for a greater level of success should never be the purpose of making others look inferior to you. We need an educator who gives us a beautiful perspective in life. Educator who changes our revenge to patience. Educator who changes our regret to motivation. Educator who changes our failure to inspiration. Educator who teaches us to love our enemy. Educator who loves our future because our future is the future of the nation. We may not survive the ads and labeled survivor if it were not because our educators. It is for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, why we celebrate their successes. To my fellow emissions, do not lose hope. There is always light at the end of every tunnel. We are emissions. We are survivors. As our Maranaw ancestors have said, ginawa ko mararasay, na pa'y karubasa, na ubang karurutosa, kapangalay mabusis simban, na sa din sa kerasaing ka, na yang kakakasunor. In English translation says, oh myself, even you are tired, do not lose hope, because God is merciful, that your successes, tantamount your sacrifices, will be paid off soon. Let us endure sacrifices until we succeed. To people who don't believe our capabilities, prove them wrong and prove them that we can do it. Do not be affected by our past because our past is just a lesson. Let us focus on the present and set goals for the future. Remind yourself, if others can, so am I. Continue selling emissions. Thank you very much.
The occurrence of the COVID-19 pandemic in this modern era has been a year and months of newsflash in the world since 2019. The serious health threat it created to countries turned most cities into ghost towns upon its first strike. Many lives were quickly shifted from active to sedentary as many social activities and gatherings were called out for temporary closure, which resulted in the economy's sudden downfall. But as time progresses, we are trying to live in a so-called new normal wherein we have to follow stringent health protocols to keep ourselves away from the virus. As a student of this academic institution, I could fairly say that we were all caught off guard in this situation as we had to adapt to the overnight change of the educational approach. If we could still recall what happened, the World Health Organization officially declared COVID-19 pandemic last March 11, 2020. And as a result, school administrators in the academy all over the country convoked for the consideration of schools' temporary closure. For months, we quarantined ourselves inside our houses, fearing the possibility of getting infected. I can still remember those little moments asking myself silly questions. Now this pandemic happened. What now? Am I still going to be able to go to school and learn? Honestly, I had no idea how this whole pandemic situation will go and bring us to change. And that worried me a lot. In response to the global health crisis, the Mindanao State University main campus developed flexible learning options guidelines as a panacea to learning continuity. In all fairness, the university provided us different options as to how we are going to deal with this new learning setup. However, the urgent switch of the educational settings from face-to-face interaction to remote learning initially resulted in topsy-turvy experiences, which directly influenced our learning. Let's face it, digital divide is the biggest challenge that everyone faces in these new learning settings. Even up to this day, issues and concerns like internet connection and gadgets are still prevalent among students, especially those who belong to low-income families. This problem was also even my concern way back then, as it really affected much of my engagement to learn and competence to perform. To be honest, it personally affected my level of determination because of the lack of support that I was receiving. But no one has to be blamed for these personal predicaments because everyone was much affected as I am. As time goes by, the challenges that we encountered were slowly addressed. Looking at the brighter perspective of the pandemic, I am now gradually adopting the new practices in this mode of learning, which enables me to discover my other capabilities and be more creative. For sure, we are all starting to embrace the new normal and realize its worth. Because after all, the whole education that we are all experiencing nowadays is just a path leading to Education 4.0, in which everyone will have the ample skills to meet the demands of the society. In relation to that matter, the Mindanao State University main campus ensures that the faculty, staff, and students will be able to acquire the necessary skills and meet their full potential to be globally relevant and competent despite all these challenges. The ICT Modernization Program, for example, is an enormous action taken by the school administrators in which laptops were given to us for no charge. Apart from that, the university has also looked into the possibilities of optimizing the internet connection and learning management system so that quality of education can still be provided. Our boat sailed a long way and gets to where it's at now. We are all in one boat, bravely navigating the depths of the ocean and sprightly continue to look for answers to achieve excellence and better service. This time, our pedagogical innovation to education has essentially improved our digital competences and self-determination. Looking again at the bright side of the pandemic, as an MC1, we are looking forward for significant changes that would lead us to brand new learning and practice.
My former professor told me that I have a remarkable personality. Smart, confident, poised, like a ship Titanic, unsinkable. He also said, if I were to be put in a room full of people, I would definitely stand out. I told him, is it because I am taller than most other girls? But seriously, any one of you can answer? You? How about you? It is because I am an MSc1. In Marino sarcasm, they say, malilit pinsalong karagat na kirampay mo usumuan yan. My heart beats with joy, remembering common lines from students. Nag-release na daw allowance pay. Taro ate, mapyawan ni man to susday man to sekta, no? Paut nag-gisbe, bayaran ko next week. Ndu, nauna. And now, the trending locked out cutie. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the life of an MSc1. Welcome aboard. The Mindanao State University main campus started with 282 students and then 112 faculty members in its pioneering class in 1962. Now, it has grown into a supra-regional university system serving over 69,000 students and nearly 3,100 faculty members. Did you know that MSU is the only university directly charged by the government to advance the cause of national unity and integration through education? The journey towards excellence wasn't always rainbows and sunshines. As the ship sails, we have encountered massive waves and storms that tested the strength and perseverance of the students, faculty, the administration, and the whole MSU community, especially during the Marawi siege. And I am sharing this with a very heavy heart because we lost loved ones in this huge turmoil of conflict. And now, here comes the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic has brought us life of uncertainty, a challenge to students and faculty in adapting to the new normal norm of education. Did you ever met a nursing student? Oh, might as well ask them if handling birth to a mannequin virtually is easy. Do you know what kept me going? It's the thought that I cannot wait for a miracle to come, finish my requirements and make me graduate. I cannot sit back in the corner of my room, crying, cribbing, and begging for mercy because nobody has time for that. So I have to accept the situation, no matter where I am, no matter how difficult it is. Life must go on. Looking back on how we surpassed the Marawi siege, and then there's this pandemic, along with our financial and mental health crisis. Confronting the crisis means being proactive to the changes of the economic environment. It is true that accepting current realities can only evolve after going through the stages of shock, denial, anger, sorrow, and acceptance. Who can deny that the faster we go through the process, the better for all of us? Let us now get out of the denial stage. This is real. Pandemic is normal. We are a survivor. We didn't just survive, we excelled. Take a look at the 100% rate recently, and even top-notchers in the board examinations from different college departments. MSU isn't the grandest one, not even the richest one, and not even the most highly technological advanced. But what makes us stand out from the rest is the character, the perseverance, the morale, and the dedicated services that MSU has to offer. The administration as chief captains, bravely navigating us towards excellence against all odds. Confidently standing in front of you is with a scarred life. A scarred life. These scars are my medals, and I am wearing them with pride. We, the people of the Minsupala region, sailing for 60 years in a ship called the Mindanao State University, proudly say, I am from the Maranao tribe, and I am a part of this journey. MSU wants all hands on deck. Thank you and a good day.
When I was young, my mom used to tell me a big dream for me.
Van, when you grow up, I want you to become successful in life.
As a little lad who knows nothing but plays, I was not really sure how could I achieve the dream that she had for me in her mind. But one thing that I knew at that unforgettable moment, I had to work hard for myself. I had to work hard for us. I had to do better each day because I want her to be proud of me. The big dreams that she had for me became my vision, my goal, and my life. This grown-up fella named Van, standing in front of you, is now a man who knows how to walk his talk. This man talking in front of you is now a man who is starting to fulfill his fancy dreams that his mom had for him. In 2 years, I'm about to graduate, find a job, and travel all around the world with the most important person who inspired me to keep moving forward. In 2 years, I can rightfully say that I'm successful. Wow, I cannot imagine how mom would wear a grin on their face when she'll see me flattering my diploma on stage.
Van, always take good care of yourself. Remember, stay on your dormitory at 5 p.m. So, don't go out.
Okay, Mom, I get it. Don't worry because I can handle myself always. Besides, I have friends to protect me. You just need to calm down and watch your favorite K-drama. So, I'll go ahead now. But before that, let me give you a goodbye kiss. Mwah! Goodbye, Mom! A lot of things have changed since I left this school. But I'm pretty much sure that I will have the best time for the rest of this school year. Long time no see, Van. Did you come to school to get your prize? Okay, Chad. I'm not going to deny this, but one of the reasons why I came here is because of the free laptop, which will be given to us by our school admin. Isn't that great? That will be a big help to our studies, especially at these trying moments. Although we have our online classes, one thing that I want you to know about it is that I'm still able to perform well in my class. Honestly, it is not a piece of cake to study while you are at home because of the little and limited support that you are receiving. The fact that everyone is affected by the pandemic, I'm pretty much sure that we all experience the same thing. And so, I have to look into different ways just to get along with my other classmates, not to boast my driving force to exert efforts to do this new learning setup, boost my determination to learn new things. Yes, in just few days, we will about to receive our laptops. Like I said, having one would help me to optimize my performance in class. Oh well, it's already 6 in the evening. I have not yet eaten anything for the whole day, and my stomach is starting to hurt. Van, would you like to go out for dinner? I've heard there's a new cafeteria near our dormitory. And then I remember my mom telling me not to go out. Nah, never mind. That sounds delicious, Chad. Let me just get my jacket and wear it for a while. That was a great dinner, man. So, when are we going to come here again? Let's see about it, Chad. For the meantime, let's go home because my mom is going to kill me if she knows I'm still out here roaming with you. As we go out from the little cafeteria, Chad and I walk straight under the
orange street lights. It feels so strange walking around at this time because I only hear footsteps coming. It feels so cold that my heart starts to pound for no reason. And I put my eyes to chat beside me. And he looks very terrified. What is happening now? He's the man walking towards us. Holy Mother of Soul! He is the gun! He is the gun! He pulls the trigger! Everything is so fast! Bang! Bang! That's all over me. He's the child. Life is next to me. I feel pain all over my body. Why is this man expressing no sorry? Conscience fits in the palm of your hands. Did I break a promise to my mom's new land? I should have listened to you. Mom, I love you.
What? What are you looking at? You didn't expect me to graduate? Why? Is it because I was an outcast and was not privileged? No. Money is not the answer to reach success. It is with hard work and determination.
Let me tell you a little about what I've went through. I wake up early in the morning and get ready for school. Mom, I'm ready to go to school. I was excited. Her response disappointed me. What? We don't have enough food left to eat? No, it's fine. I still have some points left from last week. I can use this to buy lunch. I left the house, disappointed and starving. I walked and walked, and then I stopped. I smell bacon and chicken, and it's coming from a cart not far from where I am. I quickly took my coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not enough. And so, I decided to save it for lunch. I continued walking, and I finally reached school. I took a long breath. Well, I gotta think positive. That 15-minute walk was a good way to start my morning. I was in the hallway and was on my way to class, and suddenly, my coins fell off in my pocket. Oh no, my coins! It was too late. One of the bullies got my coins. And so, I chased him. Hey! Give it back! Give it back to me, please! I pleaded and pleaded, but nobody was listening. I begged him to give my money back, but he had no mercy at all. Please, stop making fun of me. It's all I have and needed to buy food. Please, give it back. Back to me, please. I cried. Nobody even dared to help me. That was all I have. That moment, I thought, why do I have to get through this every day? Why do they always make fun of me? Is it because I'm not rich like them? Because I'm not privileged? Why? Answer me, why do you all have to do this to me? I'm also a person and I deserve to be respected. I didn't do anything to you. To all of you. Everyone should be equal. I wiped my tears and stood up. No, I should not let anyone belittle me. I will show them. I will show them that I can make it. I will show them what I am capable of. I shall be a living proof that poverty is not a hindrance in achieving my dreams. I don't need to look classy. I don't need expensive things. And I don't need to beg for money because soon I will be earning it with my blood and sweat. All I need is intelligence and determination. Yes, that's all that it takes to become successful. Yes, I will prove it to them.
I will make my family proud, and I will soon build a nice house for them. We won't starve anymore, and my siblings will finally be able to go to school and taste delicious foods. Mother won't have to shed a tear anymore because we will rise. And Father will be gone the whole day and be tired from work. I stood strong. And look where it got me. You bravely faced all their discriminations. You're poor. You're disgusting. You don't belong here. You're a nobody. I did not listen to any single thing they said. I kept in mind that they're just insecure because I get in a prestigious, expensive school with no money in my pocket and only determination and intelligence. I ignored the direction and focused on my studies. Well, yes, I am poor, but I am not disgusting. I am poor, but this doesn't stop me from achieving my dreams. I am poor, but I am not a nobody. I am somebody. I am brave, I am determined, and I am kind-hearted. I am patient, and I am unique. All of you who have been making fun of me. I have surpassed you, didn't I? Did your wealth surpass my education? Look at me. Look at me and see where I am now. Now tell me, did your money hinder my succeeding?
Everyone, let us welcome our 2021 State of Texas Academic Achievement Record for Teachers awardee, Mr. Friendly Marcandrino of Lake Highlands High School. Thank you. Thank you. First of all, it has been a great honor to serve in our school and community and be able to help in crafting the dreams of our next leaders. I dedicate this success to my mama. To my mama. 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 Please don't leave me. I can't live without you. Please don't leave me. I need you. In a single fragment of a second, my mama was gone. I wasn't able to hug her. I was going to hug her, but I can't. And I couldn't in this lifetime anymore. I was angry at myself, and with everyone. And I was angry against God for turning his back on me. But can you blame me? Go on. Blame me then. Oh, but before you do that, yes, you try to put your feet on my shoes and see how hopeless and miserable my life has become. I am tired of crying, of losing in life's battles, and I am exhausted to the point of breaking. I was with my father in a cornfield when my mother ran towards us. Looking aghast and with bated breath, she said, "Manang Tonya, our neighbor, tested positive for COVID-19, and they set our barangay on lockdown for 14 days. I can see and feel the fear and despondence looming through her eyes. Our family is barely getting by. With my father's meager earnings as a farmer and a part-time construction worker, we have tasted the bitter pill of poverty at an early age. My mother's recent pronouncement brought chills down my spine. For a minute, we just stood there in silence without having the faintest idea of how we're going to make it given our current predicaments. Reassuringly, my father told us, "We'll make it. Laban lang." With the extra savings that we had after selling our produce from our little farm, we were able to make it through the first week of lockdown. Armed with faulty cell phone and a slow internet connection, I also used the time to attend to my online classes, which had started 3 days ago. We were doing fine. Or so I thought. Because I never realized that it was only the calm before the storm. I woke up in an unusual morning. The usual hustle and bustle in the kitchen is suspiciously absent. As I was about to brush my teeth, I saw my mama and papa with blue lips gasping for air. I just stood there and froze in fear, and I screamed, "Help! Help us!" I kept screaming, but no one heard my pleas. Mama, please hold on. I am here, and help is coming. Please breathe for me. Fight for me. I kept crying, but my mama held her hand and touched my face and said, "Son, you are the greatest blessing I've ever had. And having you is more than we could ask for. Know that I love you, and that I will be your mother no matter what." In a split second, the world stopped beating. Her hand fell down, and she breathed her last breath. "Mama! Mama! Please come back! Please come back! I love you, Mama! Please come back!" I broke down and had a panic attack. But I came to my senses when I heard my papa's voice. "Son, help me." Mama said, "I know, but I am still here." And I made a promise to her that I will always be here for you. The ambulance came, and they took my papa to the hospital. Everything was a blur. In a blink of an eye, my mama is dead, and my papa is in the hospital clinging between life and death. I spent days without having any news about my papa, and I failed processing everything that happened. I kept on lying in my bed as I've lost all the motivation to live and move forward. My academic works are also piling up, and I've come to a thought of taking a permanent break from education. After a few days, I heard the good news. My papa recovered. I knelt down and I thank God, for he has to turn his back on me. A month after the tragic incident, I was almost ready to give up and accept the fact that education is not for me when two of my friends went to our house and talked about how MSU is giving free laptops to all bona fide students of the university. It was another blessing sent from above. With the same perseverance and dedication that got me through the admission process of MSU, I kept on keeping forward and fought for my dreams. I used all the available resources on campus. My newly procured laptop from the ICTC and the free Wi-Fi service in the university library got me through online learning. I also became a student assistant and I qualified as an academic scholar after pulling my grades together. MSU provided a lot of avenues to give hope to the hopeless and rekindle the fire burning within the hearts of MSU. I will not sugarcoat this, but the trials were arduous. But I fought and bravely sailed forward against all odds until I reached the pinnacle of my dreams. I dedicate this success to all the people who have contributed to the attainment of my dreams. I just want to give a big shout out to MSU's Mental Health Drive for offering free counseling sessions and for helping me get through my post-traumatic stress, depression, and anxiety. Our unpacking sessions may be rough, but you guys were very open and understanding. Thank you for providing a shoulder to cry on and a circle to celebrate my small milestones towards recovery. You guys rock! I also want to extend my deepest gratitude to my MSU professors who are very compassionate and considerate, and to my college mentors who stood as my tatays and nanays and for extending the financial help in the life crisis that I went through. Indeed, it takes a community to raise up a child. And I will always bring and embody with me the MSU's mantra and spirit of resilience, of innovation, of dedication, and of service, no matter where we go. To my mama in heaven, to my papa, to my friends, to my MSU family, and most of all to God, thank you for becoming my anchor and my shield as I trudge on the murky waters of life. Mabuhay tayong lahat!
Dark! It's so dark! Where have the people gone? I can only see one light outside the window. Ah! The storm is getting stronger, bending the trees halfway down to the ground. It sounded as if the streets are running. Lightning flashes every minute and thunder roars louder. And louder. Mama! Papa! Amira! Joel! Help me get out of here! Where are you? I'm trapped. I can hardly move. Please, please shed some light. Mama! Papa! I screamed out loud, but I could not hear any reply except for the wrath of the strong rain and wind ravaging in the night. Strange sound from the window kept bothering me. The wrath of the rain. Mama, I'm scared. Oh Lord, please, please keep us safe. The strong typhoon have crushed our humble abode. The sounds are like
enraged dinosaurs, so disturbing and life-threatening. Oh my God. Forgive me for all of my sins. If I die anytime now, please. Cuddle me in your loving arms. I slowly opened my eyes, trying to recognize things. Oh God, thank you for keeping me alive. I pray that my parents and siblings are equally alright. And then, with all my might, I looked for my loved ones from where I stand, combating the pain in my whole body. As I explored the wretched home, I saw someone lying on the floor. Amira, is that you? I answered, but there was no reply. I moved closer and reached out. Amira! Amira, wake up! We need to find Joel, Mama and Papa. She was unconscious, so I tried to wake her up. Amira! Amira! Oh God! Come on, move, please! Oh God! No! My sister! Oh, I love her so much! It's not breathing! The wind began to rock the house with threatening tunes, and low like a giant rain, the winds were blowing even harder. I have no idea if I would make it out of this alive. I need to try to get some help. As I stepped further, I saw my mother embracing my younger brother, both of whom apart. No, mother, no. Why is this happening? I was frantically screaming when all of a sudden water came rushing inside. I could feel our house getting pounded by the wind, and so I tried to move faster. A couple of meters away is the sight of my father breathing in and out uneasily. Father? Father, please hold on. Help! We need help! I tried shouting for help, but there was nothing. I couldn't help my father get up because I was so weak. My vision is starting to get blurry, darker and darker. And just as I was about to collapse, Girlie, wake up! You're having a nightmare again. I woke up and opened my eyes. I couldn't believe it. I was dreaming. My family was there. I missed them. It has been a year since my family died from the typhoon, and I was the only survivor. I stayed with my aunt after the tragedy, and until now,
I still can't fully grasp what happened. For goodness sake, it's 10:30 already. How come you're still sleeping? Everyone's getting rich while you're oversleeping and wasting time. Do you think you're a princess? Wake up and you have a mail. It says it's from Mindanao State University. My aunt said, what? Where is it? I asked with extreme excitement. My aunt then handed me the letter and I immediately read it. I did it! I passed the entrance exam! I did it! This is it. This is the start of my journey. I'm gonna give it my best and make my family proud. I have always dreamed of studying in a world-class university. The valedictory speech I saw that was delivered by the summa cum laude really inspired me. Being the top of my class here at Mindanao State University holds a great responsibility, one in which is to help myself, my family, my friends, my fellow members of this graduating class, our community, our country by keeping all our hopes up and not let this invisible enemy, COVID-19, get the best of us. I feel fortunate to have grown up in this beautiful city, for I have experienced endless amounts of opportunities and challenges. I have watched the video 10 times and not a single minute was I bored. I believe that challenges are part of our everyday life. It makes us stronger and it prepares us. It molds us into becoming who we are now, wiser, bolder, and stronger version of ourselves. These challenges come in many forms. I know I had it hard, but I will keep sailing and I will make myself, my family, and the people around me proud. MSU, here I come!
Wow! What a spectacular performances from our contestants! To give time for the judges for the tabulation of scores, why don't we pause for a short break?
Subulan na sipatan ng salama.
all and from our online viewers is rising. Who is your bet as the strongest contestant to win these online literary competitions 2021? Let's have a look at the trophy and the certificate of the winners. To announce the winners for the Filipino category, let's welcome the chairperson of the Board of Judges to announce the winners for the performing and writing contests. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Shiba Amir Buenafe. Category. How about in the English category? Is your contestant strong enough to bring home the bacon? To announce the winners for the English category, let's welcome the chairperson of the Board of Judges to announce the winners for the performing and writing contests. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ellen Anisha C. Guro. Thank you, Dr. Guro, and congratulations to our winners in the Filipino and English categories. Once again, let's show some love to our contestants by hitting that heart button if you're watching via FB now to support the amazing performances of our contestants. In closing, we would like to hear from the brilliant and the feisty mind of a mentor, the Assistant Dean of the College of Social Sciences and Humanities, and the overall co-chairperson of this online Literary Competitions 2021. Let's welcome with a virtual round of applause, Dr. Eugene F. Torres, Jr.
Beloved university officials, with special mention to the MSU System President, Dr. Habib Watamama Makaayong, also to the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Alma Elapid Roa, to the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Attorney Alisidney M. Ditukalan. Know that your presence and your involvement in this first ever university-wide online literary competition serve as a great inspiration to our performers in the different contests, and that your gesture of support to the literary arts is truly an encouragement to the whole university. Such generous gesture sends a resounding message to all concerned that we, as an academic institution, affirm our belief of the importance of the humanities as a potent vehicle in the total development of humanity. To the different participating colleges, 9 colleges to be exact, your response with utmost dispatch to the steering committee's call for contestants to vie in the competitions, both in the English and Filipino categories, is exemplary. We cannot emphasize enough that without your wholehearted cooperation and participation, this competition would not have come to a successful realization. And to all the talented contestants in these online literary competitions, your superb performances, which you in your best capacities endeavored to package your gifts and talents in the online platform, despite all the limitations and challenges this virtual format imposed on you, please know that you have offered to our virtual audience the entertainment that they have been wishing for, and that you have proven one thing, that as far as honing one's talent is concerned, the possibilities are limitless, and that the virtual platform is just one of these possibilities. Our audience surely has the best entertainment that they can ever experience in these precarious times of their lives. Dear contestants, you are precious jewels to your respective colleges. Continue honing your talents to perfection, and know as well that we are all very proud of you. To the university-wide steering committee for the online literary competitions, to the different subcommittees and college-level committees, which were all created to ensure the success of the literary competitions, your concerted effort is a proof that with the synergy you have shown, the fusion of actions, openness, and willingness to work with one another, what at first seemed improbable becomes probable. This synergy is a testament to our strength and power amidst the roller coaster of challenges that come our way in the conduct of our respective tasks. Working together in unity is a memorable learning experience for all of us. And to all our virtual audience out there, this online literary competitions is Amish's humble offer to you with much hope that you enjoy it, no matter how ephemeral it may be, that it has at least for a moment afforded you great joy and happiness. Many years ago, Amishu once used to quip, "Quo vadis Amishu?" Not anymore today. Now we proudly say, "Sail on, Amishu, amidst all the odds. Sail on to the strong currents of excellence. Sail on, Amishu, to the high tides of innovations. Sail on, Amishu, to the turbulent waves of service to humanity." Our sincerest gratitude to one and all who made these online literary competitions an unforgettable success. Thank you very much, and wassalam.
Thank you very much, Dr. Eugene Torres Jr., for capping this program. Indeed, it has been a long day filled with remarkable performances from our contestants from the various participating colleges in the university. Finally, let's put our hearts together in the singing of the university hymn prepared by the literary committee. Thank you all for watching. This has been Professor Laili Nora M. Abdel Ghafour, your Master of Ceremonies for the English category, leaving you with the words of Bob Brown saying, "If you can speak, you can influence. If you can influence, you can change lives."